I got more naggings for being a life coach than praise, okay? Can I tell you when I got my husband's admiration? Right in the end. We have to turn our critic into our coach. You know, oh my god, I went on stage and I forgot, this is so crappy, I knew I was not good enough, I knew I couldn't have done it. Another way of doing negative self-talk is, okay, you forgot, what are you going to do differently next time so that this doesn't get repeated again? Shabnam, how to achieve something when your own family and mom and brother don't understand. Thank you, Puja. Al-Saba, can I tell you something? The job of our family is to not understand. If you had to ask 80% of successful people how they got successful, they will tell you that they went out in the world and found people who believe in them. They stood in front of the mirror and believed in themselves. And only when they became successful did these people around them, who all the while had been pulling them down, decided to, go with like, acha, you know what, we didn't realize, we didn't know. Most people who love us want to protect us. And when they want to protect us, one of the things they land up doing is they don't allow us to move out of our comfort zone because they themselves are too scared. Either they wouldn't do it if they were you, or they are too scared for you. Either which ways, the intention is never bad. It's just that they don't have the courage that you have. So Shabnam, my only piece of advice to you would be, stop looking for people to believe in you or people to understand you, because you know what, after we know who we are so much, yet we carry so much self-doubt, so people don't know us at all, yeah. The fact that you're expecting, can I tell you when I got my husband's admiration? Right in the end. What do I mean when I say this? I became a life coach. The kind of sentences most of my family would use on me. Sweetheart, you've become life coach, at least now remember to switch off the lights. Sweetheart, you've become a life coach, at least now you should be able to do that or this or this or that. I got more naggings for being a life coach than praise, okay? And as I kept moving in the world, helping people truly from my heart, went on doing the work, and I knew in my heart that, you know what, this is good work and I know I'm transforming lives. There came a time when people started to respond beautifully. And I started to notice every time I would enter a party or go somewhere, people would be like, they wanted to know my perspective, they wanted to know my opinion. And when Puneet saw them admiring me, he started to admire me. So a lot of times what happens is we get our last admiration happens from the people we are closest to. You know why? Because they knew us before we became who we became. So therefore they've been judging us from our past, and maybe Shabnam, in your past you don't have any massive great success that they can believe in you so quickly. Maybe you have a few failures which they will keep reminding you of again and again and again only to protect you. So today onwards, two things. One, forgive them. Second, stop listening. Okay, don't have this expectation. Or at least don't have the disappointment even if you have the expectation. I want Puneet to admire me, I always wanted it, but I stopped having the expectation. At some point I said, you know what, I'm done trying to prove myself to the world. Anyway, no one's getting convinced. I'll just prove my own success to my own self. And can I tell you, when I shifted the focus from what other people think of me to what I think of me, what a massive progress I was able to make. Firstly, accept that everybody has a negative self-talk, which means that inner voice inside of them, which is self-critical. Okay? Now we have to turn our critic into our coach. So one of the things I do is, instead of punishing myself or speaking to myself as in why did I do that, I speak to myself in how can I do it differently next time. So one voice is about, oh my god, I went on stage and I forgot, this is so crappy, I knew I was not good enough, I knew I couldn't have done it, and I can just beat myself up. Another way of doing negative self-talk is, okay, you forgot, that's not a great thing, what are you going to do differently next time so that this doesn't get repeated again? And you know what? That empowers you. You're not creating a bubble. I'm not telling you be fake and say, oh my god, I was so fabulous on stage, which is what a lot of motivational speakers lately I've been noticing I've been doing, where they tell you should be happy all the time. Who can be? If you're human, how can you be happy all the time? There are things that are going to happen to you in your life where you will get feedback from life that this is not something you like, which is why it will hurt you, it will make you angry, it will make you upset, it will make you sad. These are all feedback. Our emotions are feedback, right? So when you realize that, you know what, something's happened. When do we normally do negative self-talk? When we are in doubt, when we are in fear, when something goes wrong. That's normally when we do it, right? So I want you to go, okay, up until now I've had this fear, but I'm going to try this out the next week and see where it goes without being attached to the result. And you can start handling all of your negative self-talk by making it future focused rather than past focused. More we live in our past, more doubt, more fear, more everything, because we have more of that, right? The more we build ourselves from who we are becoming. So we look at that person who we are becoming, oh my god, that's amazing. And then we say, what would that person do now so that they can become that? So let's say you are imagining yourself as a skinny, hot, amazingly abundant woman. Then I'd love for you to look back and go, what do I need to do today for me to be skinny, hot and rich in the next 2 years? And then make a list of that and build your life from your future self rather from, taking all your failures, mistakes of the past and then building so much negative self-talk around it. Okay?